Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Coffee Chat with Coach Melissa, your health coach and personal trainer. Cheers. Okay, so welcome again. I'm so excited about today's topic. I'm excited about anything health and fitness related. However, this is something that comes up a lot in the health and fitness world. And there's a lot of conflicting information out there, like on the internet and in the media and just everywhere. You know, so many different health and fitness professionals have, varying opinions on this. So my goal today is to help you get some clarity to empower you to make the best decision for you. So today's topic for Coffee Chat with Coach Melissa is what and when to eat post-workout. Okay, so as I mentioned, there's so much conflicting evidence out there, or so many evidence too. I actually didn't mean to say that, but there actually is so many different studies and research done. And just one little tidbit with research and studies is, and maybe I'll talk about this in another, this could be another topic for a coffee chat, but really with research and studies, you want to learn all the variables and take that into consideration before taking the results of the study to heart, and to really take it seriously, because there's so many variables within studies that are not always completely 100% clear and don't always give you like the big picture with what is happening and what's really going on, especially with the body. So, because remember, our bodies are very complex, okay? They know exactly what to do. However, our bodies can be very, very complex at times. So, okay, so I'm gonna just dive right in. So, okay, so like I said, there can be so much conflicting information out there. One thing that triggered this coffee chat topic is I was perusing the news app on my iPad a couple weeks ago, and I came across this article about what to eat and when to eat it after you work out. So I read it because I was curious. I'm always intrigued. And they talked a lot about eating carbohydrates. You have to replenish your carb storage, your glycogen storage. So glycogen is the storage form of carbohydrates, aka glucose. Okay, and while that is true, and I'll get into that in a sec, it really kind of depends on, there's three main variables that I'm going to talk about today. Okay, the type of workout you do is important, because depending on the intensity of your workout, the intensity of your workout is the fuel source that your body uses mainly for a workout is dependent on what type of workout you do. Okay, so I'm going to go over that in a sec too. And then the second variable are your fitness goals. Some articles are geared towards like endurance athletes or bodybuilding athletes, or some of it is also just overall health. So that's something you want to take into consideration, and I'm going to get into that too. And the third thing I believe is super important, specifically for women, is where you are in your menstrual cycle, okay? And I've been talking a lot about this lately because I've been doing a lot of research on this lately because I'm fascinated with it. And I found that when I'm more aligned with my cycle, like I align my fitness, my workout, my workouts, my eating style, all that, align that with my cycle, I feel so much better. So I'll talk about that as well. Okay, so let's start with the type of workout. Okay, so when you do like a low to medium intensity workout, so it could be anything from a strength training session to where you're maybe lifting heavy weights and you're doing some low reps, but you're lifting heavy, or even if you're doing more endurance where you're doing lower weight, but more reps, you know, that's kind of considered low intensity. If you're going for a walk, if you're going for a light jog, you know, or run. Does anyone use the word jog anymore? Is jogging even a thing? Anyways, I just thought of that. So, so your body burns primarily fat for fuel. Sometimes a little bit of protein, but it really protein isn't normally a main source of fuel. So it's fat and carbohydrates. So your body's gonna use fat for fuel, okay? And then any high intensity workouts. So if you're getting your heart rate above between 80 to 100% of your max heart rate, then your body is using carbohydrates for fuel mainly, okay? And how do you know if your heart rate's 80% or higher? If your heart rate is below like 80%, and you're doing, like, the best rule of thumb is like you're running with someone or you're on a bike, you're doing some cardio, you're doing some strength training. If you could still have a conversation with someone, whoever you're with, then you're low to medium intensity in cardio. If your heart rate is so high and you're having such a hard time breathing that you can't even say 2 words in a row, then that is your body's using glucose or carbohydrates mainly for the fuel source. So that's a great, quick and easy, simple way to determine, kind of gauge what intensity it is. And it's going to be different for everyone. It's all relative compared to it's all relative to your specific fitness level and where you are at. So even for some of my clients in the past, it's been walking around the block has been tiring, where they cannot carry on a conversation the entire time they're walking. So others, you know, for me, it's doing a sprint session where I'm running up a hill, you know, as fast as I can for 30 seconds or whatever. So it really kind of depends on your fitness level. So, but that's a great way to gauge. Okay. So if you are, and I'm going to sum this up at the end too, to kind of give you like just an overall, like a general rule of thumb for replenishing your body after you work out. So since so with low intensity and just strength training, I really want to encourage you to really just focus on eating protein first. Just focus on eating protein. Protein after your workout. Protein, healthy starchy carbs, and then healthy fats, okay? And you'll see a theme by the end of this coffee chat, okay? It's very simple, and I feel like people overcomplicate it. So, okay, and then, so you can, if you need to, like you do a high intensity workout and you're like craving carbohydrates, go for it. Eat some starchy carbohydrates, okay? But you want to focus on eating whole, real, nutrient-dense food, like, you know, vegetables, like, you know, leafy greens, you know, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and if for the starchy vegetables, sweet potatoes, white potatoes, if you could tolerate white potatoes, really focus on that. And then like just real food, like healthy, like grass-fed beef, grass-fed bison, pasture-raised chicken, if you can find it, eggs, you know, healthy animal proteins and healthy fats such as avocados, olive oil, coconut oil, butter, ghee, butter if you do dairy, ghee if you don't do dairy. But just focus on eating whole real foods, okay? Now, when it comes to the high intensity interval training, and I really want you to learn how to be in tune with your body to where you're really kind of looking within like, what am I craving right now? Am I just craving protein and fat? Great, that's what your body needs, regardless of if you did a high intensity workout or not. If you did a high intensity workout, your body has its own method, its own system in place to make its own carbohydrates, okay? It's called gluconeogenesis. It's a fun word to say, I know, I love it. So anyway, so what gluconeogenesis does is it takes protein, it takes the amino acids and it converts them into carbohydrates. Now, either takes protein from food that you eat, like protein ingested, or protein from lean muscle mass. So obviously you don't want it to take it from your lean muscle mass because that's going to break down your muscles, and we do not want that, okay? We want to build up our muscles. So the best source for that is protein consumption. So when you eat and when you're eating adequate protein, even if you're like not feeling the carbs, the starchy carbs, don't sweat it. Don't sweat it. Your glycogen stores are going to be replenished regardless. Now, if you're an endurance athlete and you're doing a lot of high intensity workouts, you know, you're a professional athlete, which I would not recommend that anyways, doing a lot of high intensity workouts, because that's just going to do more harm than good, in my opinion. But then you may want to eat more starchy carbs just to kind of help replenish your glucose stores even better. But if you're just doing this, and we'll just transition into fitness goals now. If you're just doing this for general health, general fitness, you know, maintenance, if you're like me, a woman in her 40s, and I want to get stronger and build more lean muscle mass, but I'm not into like being a bodybuilder or anything like that. You don't need to eat a bunch of starchy carbs, okay? You don't need to do that to replenish your glycogen stores, because your body will just naturally, it'll do it on its own. It knows exactly what to do. And this is what I say all the time, like, focus on eating real food and your body knows exactly what to do with it. When we give our bodies the appropriate input, it will provide us with the optimal output. Okay, all right, so your fitness goals. So it depends. If you're really wanting to build muscle, you really want to going low carb, moderate protein and high fat is probably going to be the way to go for you. But everybody is different, and it really depends on, you know, how your body responds to your workouts, to rest, to sleep, you know, to what your recovery method is as well. And that's why it's super important to work with a health and fitness professional if you have these specific goals and you kind of don't really know what to do. You know, this is one thing that I focus on with my clients, is especially when I work with them from a personal training perspective, is like, it's super important to incorporate a holistic workout routine that includes recovery, and recovery includes sleep and what you're putting in your body after your workouts. And I'm going to get into like when to eat too. So just hang tight with that. Okay. So, but if you're just looking for like general health, general fitness, you know, then you really want to make sure that you're just focusing on eating whole, real foods. And, you don't really need to focus on like specifically, oh, I've got to eat X amount of carbs. So I'm more of like just really follow your intuition, focus on whole foods, and you'll know, your body will tell you. And your job is to really listen to your body and what it's telling you. And that's something like for me as your health coach and personal trainer, that I can help you get in tune with your body. So, okay, so depending on your fitness goals, talked about that. And I'm gonna get into timing. Just hang tight for a sec. So, okay. And then, so for your cycle, okay. Now I would really focus on this, a lot. So if you haven't done so, I encourage you, next time you start your cycle, track it. okay? And kind of get in tune with like where you are in your cycle, how you're feeling, what your food cravings are, how you feel from a fitness perspective, because you really want to, and I'll get into this in another video, but you really want to align your workouts with where you are in your cycle as well. So, but anyway, so at the beginning of your cycle, so day 1 is the first day of your period. So this is the day that, you know, you start bleeding. Sorry, men, if you're out there, but so this is the day that you start menstruating. So for me personally, I've noticed I crave red meat, especially on the first 2 days of my cycle. I just crave red meat. And I think a lot of it's because I feel a little bit of iron deficiency. So really focusing on iron-rich foods if you're working out after, you know, while on the first day or second day or throughout the days that you are menstruating, like really focus on iron-rich foods. So animal protein is the best source. Now you may do a search on the internet and look that, you know, there's more iron in some plant-based protein sources. And that's true with some of them, which is great. So that's totally an option for you if that's an option you prefer. On the other hand, with the animal sources, the animal protein sources, our body absorbs them more efficiently, absorbs the iron more efficiently than through plant-based sources. So just take that into consideration. So with that being said, you can like mix and match, like eat some eggs. Like if you're vegetarian, focus on eating eggs and then focus on eating other plant-based iron-rich protein sources, like tofu is a great one, spinach, black beans are good from my knowledge, from my research. So those are all great. So just kind of mix and match. Eat what works best for you, what your taste buds like. And then, let's see. Oh yeah. Okay. So for, you know, usually like when you're menstruating, I know I could do kind of without the starchy carbs for a while. And this is actually very common. You know, this is just how we are with our cycles based on our hormones. I'm not going to go into detail with that right now. It's too much right now, but so really focus on that. And then as you move through your cycle, you know, after you're done menstruating towards ovulation, and then the second half to where you're getting, you know, your body's getting ready to, you know, it's really, you know, the first half is really kind of, we know what it is, you know, it's getting ready to, you know, you have the menstruation part, and then your body's getting ready to, you know, make a baby, you know, fertilize an egg, have one of your eggs fertilized. So it's preparing for that. And then when that doesn't happen, you know, your hormones kind of, they go up and down a little bit. Estrogen, progesterone, all those hormones, they kind of go up and down throughout your cycle. And you may, towards the end of your cycle, you'll probably tend to crave more starchy carbs. And this is normal. Like, this is our body's way of telling us, yeah, look, I need these starchy carbs. So then I want to encourage you to eat these starchy carbs alongside the healthy proteins, okay? So really focus on that. Be mindful of where you are in your cycle and everything. So, and then the last thing I want to say is timing. Now, I'm a big believer in really eating when you're hungry, eating with focusing on the acronym when hunger ensues naturally. Okay, when hunger ensues naturally. You shouldn't ever force yourself to eat, and our bodies actually aren't designed to eat consistently throughout the day. Our bodies like that time to rest and digest. Okay, they like it, they want it, they crave it. It's in our genes to really want to fast on occasion. So now this doesn't mean you have to do a 16 or 18-hour fast. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is saying, like, if you work out in the morning and you work out in a fasted state, just wait until you feel hungry afterwards to eat that first meal, that first bite of protein, you know, and healthy fats and, you know, veggies, whatever it is. And so just wait until you're hungry. Wait until you have those hunger cravings, okay? You should never, ever force yourself to eat immediately after a workout just because someone tells you that your body needs it. Your body will do its thing, okay? Now, if you're like me, I personally enjoy working out in the mornings now in a fasted state after just having a couple cups of black coffee and water. So usually by the time I get done with my workout, shower, get dressed, get ready for the day, I am ready for some protein. I am hungry and I have some hunger pains. So I'll make either a collagen coffee shake, or I'll make some eggs, or I'll have a salad for brunch. You know, I'll eat whatever I have available. So just really focus on what your body is telling you. Like, what does your body need? And then, because the more you focus on eating whole foods, the more your hormones will adjust and you'll minimize your sugar cravings, you'll have more energy, you'll sleep better, and your workouts will be more beneficial. And then once you start replenishing your body, refueling your body with the appropriate foods, then you're just gonna feel so empowered. And I also, you know, you also create the flexibility too. So you're not like, after every workout, I have to have protein and carbohydrates and fat. Maybe you don't have protein right afterwards. I'm a big proponent of protein first. However, sometimes your body's just craving the starchy carbohydrates, and that's okay. Go for it, eat it. Just make sure it's whole food. Whole food, so potatoes, sweet potatoes, you know, some fruit if you need to, if that's available, if that's what you're craving. So, okay, I know that was a lot, so I'm gonna stop right there, and later on we could dive into this more in more detail. And also, if you ever want to just hop on the phone with me, and I'm happy to do a free weight loss strategy session with you over the phone or over Zoom for about 30 minutes. You could schedule that on my website. And yeah, because it would be a great way to jumpstart. And then I could also share with you, you know, how I can help you in the future, you know, when you join Wellness Abundance Club or Fitness Abundance Club. So, okay, don't forget to subscribe below so you never miss a video. And thanks so much for watching. And remember, visit our brand new refreshed website, melissaking.net. Share it with your friends, with your family, with your coworkers. We would love that so much. It's live now and we're so excited about it. It looks so much better. It's so much easier to navigate, and it has a lot more details on it than it did before. So, okay, anyways, thanks so much for joining me with Coffee Chat with Coach Melissa, and I'll see you next time.